Got this one all marked out here. It's a kind of ugly looking white oak. So came up and the first real bumps, branches start here. So this here is a 12'6" butt log, and then as you can see there's mounds and branches all over this one. So going with a 8'8". Again, there's more nubs, more branches. You know, it goes up and down a little bit. So another 8-footer. And then we've got another 8-footer right into the very tail end of this crotch here. Then we've got a 12'6" and a 10'6" on the bottom there. And what I like to do with logs like this and trees like this is I'll start up here, knock all the branches off, get them on the ground, and then I'll cut off that side first, so that if you started back on the middle here and you started cutting, all this tip weight is going to try to splinter and split your wood, which, you know, kind of kills your log. So I like to start at the tips, get them all weight knocked off, and then work my way back the tree, so you have less likelihood of breaking and splintering your logs as you're bucking them into size. And I also try to slide logs underneath. So I'll make sure I get logs kind of like this one here. I'll put a branch underneath here, so when I cut that off, I can still get my chain wrapped around it. And I'm going to come back and clean all these nubs off as well. So, you know, at this point here, you know, I'm going to put a branch under here and here so that I can wrap my chain around real easy. So I'm going to get this all knocked up and get some horses back here. I got this one all cut up and ready to go here. So as you can see, I cleaned up the butt as best I could. Try to keep it in plane. So I knocked off all the sides. So basically, if you have the big swell on it, the sawmills, you know, sawmills don't like it like that, because when they put it on their band, it kicks it up and they've got to knock that off before it can lay flat. So they'll pay you more and they just like to see it. And if you can keep them happy, they're more likely to buy your logs in the future. So I like to try to get my butts cleaned up as best I can. And that goes for the branches as well. You can see I put those logs underneath it, and you can see right underneath it, so you can, you know, slide a chain right underneath it real easy. It doesn't take but, you know, a minute to put those underneath before you buck the log, and it just saves you a lot of time when you're wrapping chains. But as you can see, you know, I tried to trim off the branches as flat as you can to make that log sit on the mill as best you can. So I ended up cutting that 12'6", then an 8'8", and I left this a double 8'8" because it's the smaller section. But again, you know, I trimmed all the branches off as tight and as best as I can. And same with the crotch here. 8'8" came the whole way to the end of that crotch. So instead of leaving that, you know, that flare came out to like here. So I nipped that off so that it's basically the same size log from start to finish, and it's not going to lay funny. And then I've got, you know, a 12-footer and a 10-footer here, and I'll back the horses in here, hook on and pull out both of these at once. And then in here I'll bring them in, spin them around, pull out one log, two log, and then the double log, and we'll go out and around. So that's what I like to make them look like once I get them all knocked down to size. Try to make them, you know, as pretty as I can. We got this tree, the first log hooked up here, who got that 12-footer tied from the butt end, because if you can get the butt end closest to the cart, it keeps that weight closest to the back end. Now, clearly you don't have to do that every time, but if it's an option, it'll make it pull a lot easier on the horses. So then we'll pull them up and then get out of here. Ha! 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 Ooh. So I don't know if you noticed that there. So because I have such a sharp turn here, I mean, it's pretty obvious stuff, but I pulled really far to the right and straight, and then I almost just stepped the horses over, so that we're gonna miss that tree there with the butt of our log. Keep. Hoop. It's getting kind of muddy out here right now, but you know, what can you do about it? Sip. But yeah, there you have it. Log to the landing. Now I'll just roll that over, suck it up good and tight, so I can get as many here as I can. Good girls. These girls have come a long way, and 3 or 4 times out, they wouldn't pull together, but now they're doing real good. They still don't pull the biggest logs out, but they're learning.